The will of D, said to be the natural enemy for those that call themselves gods within the One Piece world. And in today's video, I'll be explaining a crazy theory that I for one haven't seen anybody made a video about. So due to the amount-long hiatus that Oda had decided for his eye surgery, in which I hope nothing goes wrong along the way, you feel me? Get well soon, Oda Sensei. I'm now gonna try and make at least one piece video per week for a whole month span to test the waters out and whatnot. Oh yeah, I only had this idea from after reading the latest chapter of One Piece, which is chapter 1086. Everyone's talking about the Gorosei, the Seraphims, and even Shanks' lineage, the Vigarlandos. Nobody's really talking about Mjosgard's death, because most probably forgot, or forgets, that he is a member of the Don Quixote family. Or at least has its lineage, the same lineage of the Joker himself. OFLAMINGO. And in this video, I'm going to convince a headcanon for where the Don Quixote family has its correlation with the will of D, and how DoFlamingo will most likely be on the same side of Luffy, where he would help take down the world government and the whole hierarchy of the celestial dragons that he was once a part of. This all started after seeing that very panel of where Mjosgard was announced dead from getting executed by the former king of God Valley, Vigarlan Godling. It had caught to my attention that Mjosgard basically died for others, and not himself for how most celestial dragons are most likely to die off. He stands by his belief after that one incident at Fishman Island without an ounce of regret, hopefully. But after thinking about it, I then realized that the Don Quixote family had pretty much now have at least 3 members that died for the sake of others. Mjosgard is the latest one of all, Rocinante being a prominent one, since he had died believing in law and his beliefs of what justice was really like. Which, funny enough, that he was also the one that told Law about the will of D as well. Died protecting Law at that. And then, there's Dofi and Corazon's father, Homing, a father that meant no harm for their kid. But was too naive of not knowing on how the world works. Yeah, he even sacrificed his own pride and ego. But, he decided to go down for Marijoa that stood by the commoner's side, only to end up getting killed by his own son. Yikes. Now, speaking of his son, the one that's notably still alive, Don Quixote DoFlamingo, a man that is somehow still alive after getting pounded by Luffy's big black fist. Okay, big pause on that. But in any other case, Dofi should at least be in the worst state. But he somehow still survives all that, huh? Okay. The most obvious reasoning from that would, be his devil fruit prowess. The ability to stitch back all his internal organs back to where it's supposed to be, to fix any amount of damage within. But then it caught to my attention that Dofi's role within the story might be a tad similar to another Will of D member, which is none other than Marshall D. Teach. Blackbeard is the one sole proof that a member of the Will of D does not necessarily have to be good like Luffy, like Roger, or even Ace. Another example would be Roxy Zebek, but, again, since we know so little about that man, I for one can't really verify that he himself was even an evil fellow to the core. But similarly to Blackbeard, DoFlamingo feels like, he would fit quite perfectly in the position role of helping to take down the world government, Emu, and all of the celestial dragons. Since he himself has a Don Quixote lineage that is still alive, doesn't seem to share the same fate of how other Don Quixote lineage lives through. Maybe the incident of what had happened at Dressrosa was even needed to push Dofi into the right direction, to basically wake him up on his fate as somebody that, bears the will of D. Okay, now, and so I know that's a bit stretching it, but and again, sometimes you don't even need the actual will of D label to have such a way of life. I mean, take Odin for example, or maybe Whitebeard, maybe even Buggy. They all had big dreams and lived through their lives in a grandiose way that's unlike any other. Perhaps after Dovi's inevitable escape from Impel Down, or just whatever he is, wherever he's taken to by the Marines, he would then have somewhat of a similar realization to Crocodile, but even more so on a technical level. Perhaps the Cross Guild themselves are going to invite Dovi into the gang. I mean, when you think about it, if Law would actually end up getting helped by Buggy as well, it would be a crazy reunion for the both of them to end up on the same side of the spectrum. But my point of this whole video is just, the idea and premise of how the Don Quixote family could might as well have that will of D stem. Similarly to the Nefertari family as well, because I have the suspicion that the Nefertari family themselves were probably one of the first Will of D members, possibly given by Joy Boy himself, perhaps, to basically spread across the whole One Piece globe for this Will of D to still live on to this day. But it'll definitely be a crazy plot twist that Doflamingo would end up having to share the same fate as the rest of his lineage, to basically die with the mindset of having to sacrifice himself for someone else or just the purpose of something greater than himself. And if that's what it takes to be a Will of D member, then what could Rox Dizabek possibly had done to have his name erased from history? What really happened on God Valley? I mean, was it actually a tragic story, or maybe even something deeper than just a tyrant captain that was, hungry for power and control? What if that's just how the world government wants to portray it to be? A cover-up for the actual truth. Because why else would they erase a whole fucking island and basically a kingdom from the face of the earth? It just doesn't make any sense in hindsight. You feel me? But let me stop there. Since I am hopefully going to make a video about Rox Dizabek, you feel me, God Valley, and many more in the foreseeable future as well. So tune in for that. Alright, that'll be it for now. Hope y'all enjoy this different type of content that I'm, still experimenting on. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to keep on making these discussion vids. Shoutouts to Tekking, BDA Law, Civ, Par, J, Hype Hunter, Rogers Base, and many other One Piece content creators out there that had truly inspired me to make this video, since I basically watch those discussion vids almost on a daily basis nowadays anyway. But yeah, my love for this fictional story is just unfathomable. Okay. One Piece has honestly just been one of the only long-running series that I'm still keeping up with till this day. So I'm hoping that Oda, hopefully can finish up this peak fiction of a story, before I die. Okay, that got morbid real quick, but anyways, as always, I hope y'all can take care of yourselves physically, mentally, and maybe even spiritually to have yourselves a damn bloody good one. It's been your boy Ryu, and I'll see you whenever that is. Alright, if you're still here, also, type on the comments, hashtag the will of Doflamingo. Just so that I can tell how many of y'all are real ones, are really real ones like that. Do you feel me? But yeah, it's been your boy Ryu again. But yeah, I'll see you whenever and wherever that is. Merci.